Does she realize that she can buy herself a new car or possibly a house, depending on the location that she's looking, if she was to spill this story?
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, it happened. We're finally into it.
Finally into it.
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly.
It was
gnarly.
Heavy.
And they better go back. They better go back.
Oh, they will.
This had a lot of episode 3 reunion energy where it should have been episode 1 reunion energy. You know what I mean? When they have a 3-parter, it's like the last one's like, well, the parties and Ciara's costumes. Like, no, not the time.
I know. It was very clunky, that transition from like, here's this devastating, life-changing piece of information that's happened, and finally we see all the people involved in it face to face. But let's talk about Ciara's breastplate. It's
right.
Right. We're not here for that.
No, we're not here for that. And also, it made me doubly glad that a kind citizen was concerned enough about Amanda getting an edit, a favorable edit, that they're like, I don't trust these assholes. I'm going to fucking leak the real shit. And maybe it makes sense that they bumped to like a lighter thing, given how heavy the subject matter was. I can't pretend to say that I would know what I was doing more than Andy does. You know, he's been doing this for 20 years now. And they even gave us 18 extra minutes. But I still did not think that we needed to be talking about the costumes and the parties yet.
I mean, I feel like they had to get it in there. They pulled Levi in and she'll be gone next week. You know what I mean? Like, they're just trying to check their reunion boxes of like, yeah, other stuff happened this summer. Yeah. And there was some stuff in, you know, there was that segment of fluff, but then it got like real heavy and serious again. You know, like there was some stuff.
Yeah.
And I do feel like if they're going to do a 3-part reunion, obviously they're going to tease out this Amanda West Ciara stuff all the way through all 3 episodes to keep us coming back. And it'll work because it's pretty freaking compelling.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
So obviously we're here to talk about Summer House, you guys. Obviously we're here to talk about season 10, episode 19, the reunion part 1. And it was burly. It was everything. I know a lot of people started watching Bravo for the first time or Summer House for the first time. This is not normal. You're getting a real treat. In our wildest dreams, longtime viewers could not have concocted this in a writer's room, you know? Well, you probably...
No, I think you're right. I mean, it just... Yeah, but it does have some Scandival feeling to it. Like seeing Amanda and Wes together in a dressing room, I had that same kind of sickening feeling when Tom and Raquel were together. I was just like, this is weird, and you guys almost seem to be like reveling in your villainry, and like that's weird. And they were so casual with Andy when he came to greet them. I was like, I would be flop sweating, I would be sobbing, I would be mortified. Even if this is the person I am destined to spend the rest of my life with, and I know it, I would just still be there would be so much pain in the moment, anticipating the moment of facing a person I love who I hurt bad. And the two of them were just like, I'm zen. That was nothing. I was like,
she couldn't
what?
make eye contact with Andy when he was in the dressing room.
Andy looked pissed off. He was like, well, you guys seem relaxed. Okay, I'll go now. It's bizarre.
As someone that took beta blockers twice a day, every day for years and years and years, until sometime late last year, early this year, I never acted like Amanda acted on beta blockers, ever. So I think that she is on a benzodiazepine. I think she's on
I think it's who Amanda is.
I do too, but I mean, she seemed particularly I think that she was on something like an Ativan or a Xanax or whatever the generic equivalents are. I wouldn't be able to do that. Even if I was on my deathbed ill, I don't think I could act that detached. Pharmaceuticals, maybe, but I'm not stone cold when I'm on anxiety medication. She's fucked.
I just wonder if like that's who she is. Like it's really true. Like we've never known who she is. She's always been Kyle's punching bag or Paige's sidekick or whatever. And I guess I do wonder if this is just who she is, because she does seem present enough on stage to cry, to get sharp with Ciara, which was insane and so out of line. I couldn't believe it.
Shows where her priorities are. Her priorities are completely self-preservation, and ego is the name of the fucking game, dude.
Yeah, just like no shame, no humility. And I don't mean
Nothing.
shame in like a Catholic-y bad way.
I know what
I
you
mean
mean.
shame as in like I've made a mistake and I'm capable of acknowledging that. Like, but it's that whole, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And they want to be right.
I'm so
So
grateful to whatever good citizen, whatever angel walking amongst us released those. I do not have faith that entitled woman from New Jersey, I think they would have given us a sympathetic edit.
I have a hard time believing that simply because Andy set up the entire reunion by saying, well, Kyle, I thought you were going to be the villain.
Yeah.
Meaning we have a different villain and she's seated directly to my left or right or whatever. But like, I think he's had it. I don't think Andy could moderate that reunion in a way that could allow for a good edit. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
but
this is the man that lets Kyle Richards get away with everything now for 15 seasons. So I don't know. I don't have faith. I don't. But I'm extremely like watching, like reading it happen, listening to it happen, like watching it added just extra layers of insult. And I will say this, I'm looking you dead in the eyeball. I do not have faith that Amanda Batula is capable of redeeming herself or interested in redemption. And because of those things, fuck all the way off. Honestly.
I agree. I think she said as much. She came there to explain herself.
I'm disgusted at her caucasity. I am disgusted at it. I'm disgusted that like she is just like, cool. I'm gonna let all my Karen-ness just let it all fucking hang out. Here you go. I would rather die. I can't imagine.
I am Caucasian and I would rather die. Like that, I don't know how she entered the space with the attitude she did, except to say that I guess that's information about who she is as 100%. A human being. And it is gross.
It's butt ugly.
Yeah, dude. And like, it makes West gross for being attracted to it, like on a new level. Like he was already gross in the ways he mistreated Ciara, but there's a new level of gross with like, how can you be supportive of someone who behaves this way toward their like best friend and ally who they leaned on all summer and you were there to watch it and you kissed her ally on the last night? How romantic. Like it's all just so twisted and weird.
Water seeks its own level, like attracts like, blah, blah, blah. They're looking in a mirror. They're just
so unbothered. It was, I was riveted just in like, when are they gonna show some emotion? When are they gonna show that they care or that they have any understanding? He's like, I just texted people I thought it would affect. I was like, bitch, it affected me. If you had my number, you should text me. Like, I'm bothered by this. It's so devious and weird.
I feel so mad at myself. Well, okay. I fell for it too. Lindsay wrapped it up perfectly. We'll get there. Lindsay wrapped it up perfectly. Because he did it to me too. He pulled the wool over my eyes as well. When he asked KJ, who's just innocently hanging up fucking 4th of July bunting for that goddamn county fair party, like, how's your mental health, dude? Like, I fucking fell for it. I fell for it. He didn't give a shit. all West was thinking about in that moment was how this is going to make me look. I'm going to look so good. I'm going to look so good.
I mean, and that's what I just keep saying
Poor
now is
KJ.
like, I'll never know. Like, I don't know who West is. I don't know who Amanda is. Like, when you lie on this level and you commit to keeping a secret of this nature, I have no idea. Maybe that is a truthful part of yourself, but I'll never believe anything positive or negative about you ever again. I don't know who you are, and I'm just at a loss. I'm just watching two, meat sacks move their mouths. What they say has no meaning because it just is like, again, if you're capable of doing these things and appearing utterly remorseless in this first encounter with the people who you've harmed, I don't know what to make of. I don't know what to make of that. I do not understand it. And I don't choose to take any time to try to understand it because I don't want to. I just think it would bum me the fuck out to figure out what the psychology of that is.
So gross. The way it started was fucking amazing. I was really, again, for people that have never watched a reunion before, this is not how it goes down. So we start on March 31st, 2026. And we are treated to watching Lindsay shooting her confessional for In the City, which is the show that immediately is it's rolling right off the backs of Summer House. Let's watch how the elders of Summer House live their lives in fall through spring. So this show is always supposed to be about Lindsay, Kyle, and Amanda. Carl, unclear. I don't know. I think those three,
in the
and then their friends. Yeah. He's not, is he? Yeah.
No, he wasn't
Good for
invited.
him. He wasn't invited?
No, I think that was part of the problem between him and Kyle this summer. I think that was another piece that they couldn't talk about on air, is that Kyle was central to forming that show, and Carl, he did not invite or fight to have Carl be a part of that cast. And I think that bothered Carl.
That would bother me. I'm bothered right now.
Yeah. So I
I'm
think that
bothered.
was part of like what was fueling all of the
Fascinating.
complications between
I did
the
not
two
know
of those guys
this.
this summer. I mean, it's
I wonder
all
if that was part
speculation.
of Lindsay's contract. Like, no, I get to decide who's on this show.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
one of those things that if Kyle had really given a shit, he could have gone to producer and said,
course.
look, they don't have to shoot together. I'll shoot with Carl. I'll go to
Totally.
Soft Bar. I'll take the guys there. But, he didn't. And so,
Fascinating.
yeah.
Well, so Lindsay's taping her confessional and she's asking all the right questions. How are my lips? Can you see my pit stains? Knock, knock, knock. Kyle walks in. And I assume that he was probably at another part of the soundstage shooting his own respective confessionals. So this is a good learning opportunity that we can all, if they're taping the confessionals on March 31st and the finale ran on March 20th, or that was the season premiere, was just last week, right? At the season, after the end of the season finale.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So they taped the confessionals, 6 weeks in advance? Barely. So all of what West and Amanda were saying while we're watching Summer House was taped fairly recently in regards to when they aired it. Unless they tape a lot of confessionals throughout,
I think they do
They do
two rounds,
pickups or
and that's
whatever.
based on outfits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how Housewives
Totally.
and all of them have a different outfit. So I think they do some throughout the season, and then some once the story editors have decided what the storylines are going to be, they bring people back for probably one more day to ask questions to help fill in holes. Yeah. Kyle interrupts and he tells Lindsay to look at her phone, and he says he has not read the statement yet and asks her to read it aloud to him. And this is the statement that West and Amanda released to confirm the rumors that they were a thing. And I did kind of love how this played out, though, because it made me feel lightly hopeful for either Summer House's future or at least the future of this friend group. That literally the second Lindsay stopped reading, reached the conclusion of the statement, the phone rings, it's Jesse. The phone rings, it's Mia. The phone rings, it's Carl. And everyone's like, have you talked? They want to check in on Kyle. And they all ask, is anyone in touch with Ciara? Mia says she's texting with her, and Mia is in California, but considering getting on a red eye that very night to get home to New York to be with Ciara while she navigates this shit show. I mean, my God. I just thought it was so sweet. Like the concern felt so real, and it was so they were just so immediately supportive of the people who were in crisis at that moment, Kyle and Ciara.
I forgot that we were even watching a reunion. I forgot that I was even supposed to be sitting down to watch a reunion. I would have watched 42 minutes, an hour and 18. I would have watched 24 hours of green screen of that conference call. I would have just completely been so happy just watching broken fourth wall. Even if the conversation veered into like, well, I don't know, do you guys want to meet later and grab like some dinner and we can just like chat? You know, how are you? How's Gemma? Like I would have watched, it was so real and riveting. Hearing Jesse, just hearing all of them, Carl, his first words were, how are you? I just got off a plane. I'm catching up. How are you? He got off that plane. The notifications start coming in. He calls Kyle. How are you for my friend? How are you?
And shortly thereafter, he's like, has anyone checked on Ciara?
Yep.
Where's Ciara? How is Ciara? I was like, you're such a good dude.
Yeah.
Carl.
I have heard that season 11 is set to tape with Jesse, Bailey, Levi, Dara, KJ. Did I already say Bailey?
Mm-hmm.
I believe Ben and Sabrina. Kyle would, I think, dip in and out. Ciara
I would love to see Kyle
come in and out. And
Single
Carl
Kyle
will come in and out, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But season 11 will be happening. Thank God. But I don't think, obviously, West and Amanda, I don't think will be involved.
I mean, I don't have any faith that they'll stay together. So I wonder if one or the other of them won't be there. And I would guess it would be West.
Gross.
I mean, I don't know.
I want whatever is Ciara wants. That's what I want. I want whoever there to be based on Ciara's comfort and Ciara's peace and Ciara's protection. That's all I give a shit about.
Yeah. I imagine
drama
Bravo.
be damned, you know? But yeah. I mean, if they're going to let Kyle Richards get away with all the bullshit that like they let her get away with, like throw some goodwill Ciara's way too. If they're classy people, they will. I'm angry, clearly. Anyway.
I mean, I do think, yeah, it sounds like her schedule will work out that she can be there. And I imagine Bravo would accommodate that, right?
You would think.
Like, yeah. Well, Kyle legitimately looked shell-shocked as Lindsay read that statement, like as we all were. I think every single person who has nothing to do with this friend group was like, what the fuck is this? It's so both vague and too detailed for what they're trying to address. And it is very notably weird that they do not mention Kyle and Ciara by name, as if this is not a scandal that people are, as if we don't know the harmed parties. Like this all happened on screen and it's ongoing. It was such a weird move. And Carl, Carl just seems like so mature. You know, Kyle says, you noticed some weird stuff this summer, didn't you, Carl? And he's like, yeah, you don't touch women who are married like that. You don't. And then he just goes, you don't fuck his wife of 10 years. And like Lindsay makes a shocked face and Kyle looks stricken when she says that. I think the reality of this is like, it's not a gossip item for these people. Like that's the woman who was in his bed for 10 years, however cruel she was to him and however doomed the marriage was. He loved her. And West is now like, you know that feeling when you suddenly like get a visceral sense of someone else doing with your significant other what you used to. And I don't even mean like sex necessarily. It's snuggling and talking and giggling and like all the shit. Like Kyle said in the city, he's like, it's just hard to know that someone else is getting the best version of you, you know? It's so heartbreaking. What, you hate that?
No, I just think that if that's the best version, like, do you want that? Is that still what you want? And I understand that he's hurt, but, and I'm not saying he has to have that consideration in that moment. I'm just saying that, like, if I'm Kyle, I want better than that for me. If Wes is getting Amanda's best and you want that, that's sad. That's sad on top of sad.
I mean, I think it's more the nostalgic best,
Of course.
like the person he fell in love with, not this current iteration of Amanda, whatever this is. The girl who had an awakening that landed her in the sack with her best friend's ex. What
she doesn't know how to have an awakening. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah.
Kyle closes out this little scenelet by saying, I don't know what Amanda and Wes can say to recover. And it turns out, at least in reunion part 1, nothing.
Yeah.
They failed.
2 months later, so far in real life, they've said and done nothing to recover. It's only worse. Earlier today, someone sent pictures of Dumois of Amanda and West sitting next to the Colosseum in Rome. And they're both on their phones. They've got, wine glasses, looking down at their phones while in front of the Colosseum just tells me everything I fucking need to know. So they skip town so they don't have to be here while the first installment of the reunion airs, which great, fine. I've never been a Bravo celebrity embroiled in scandal at my own, at my own hands. But also, like, really, like, take a fucking, I don't know, just whatever. I'm angry. I'm disgusted by these two people. I'm disgusted by these two people.
At least they read the room, and by the room I mean the country, and got out of it.
Yeah,
because I don't think anyone will have much tolerance for them after this performance. My God. So we cut to April 23rd, 2026, and we have all of our arrivals to the reunion studios, and everyone exits their black car onto the city streets of New York, except Ciara, who's driven to one of those like celebrity private underground entrances. And this is what does give me faith that Bravo does want to take care of her, because, she is extra fragile, and they did make that arrangement so that she didn't have to be paparazzied at 6 a.m. on her way into the, face something really, really unpleasant, and not in a therapist's office, like
Totally.
in full glam 4 cameras. So I was pleased to see that, whether, whoever arranged for that, I'm really glad that could happen for her so she could.
I don't know if you clocked Amanda's ugly ass Ugg mules. They were so ugly. They had like the little Kelty fringe on it. It's like it. Is that shoe ugly? Yes, it is. Great. Is it also available in suede or nubuck? It actually is, ma'am. Great. In a brown? Yes. Is there one with a fringe on it? There is. Oh, perfect. I'll take that one.
I mean, I thought she stepped out of that car and I was like, oh, I guess she didn't do her hair.
No.
Cut to entrance. That's her hair. Yeah.
But that's her hair. That's her choice.
I mean, it's so like she is really beautiful on the outside, and the rest of her is just so rotten now that like it makes her outfit, which I'm sure was thousands of dollars, it makes it look cheap. It's amazing how someone's like bad spirit can ruin the gorgeous fashion.
It's a different color of the same outfit essentially the same outfit that Ciara wore last year. Amanda can't do anything by herself, including like getting inspired on what to wear.
Yeah,
she's gonna. Yeah,
Kyle mumbled in the closet last week, like she'll never do it. She doesn't do anything on her own. It's like, well,
yeah,
continues to be proven true. And then we check in with Carl, Ben, and KJ, who are all in a room together. And I think Ben asked if everyone's going to be in this room. And Carl was like, nope, there's a sign on the dressing room across the hall for Amanda and West. They are being siloed in a separate dressing room. And Carl, I mean, again, everyone just looks like traumatized. He's like, the last 2 months have been unlike anything they've ever experienced, over 10 years of this series running. And then Carl says the last 2 weeks even, he goes, the baseball game, that's just so fucking weird. And they show us the footage of West kissing Amanda in the stands. Again, you guys just dropped this bomb. In your statement, you've claimed you're confused and figuring it out. And then you go to a public space knowing that you're going to be photographed and like it feels like abuse of Ciara. It's just like it's so flagrant and flagrantly shitty. I don't understand the headspace. I don't. Are they coked out of their minds? I hope so. Otherwise, this decision making is shocking.
I can't comprehend it. And I don't ever want to be able to comprehend it because that's going to mean I have bigger problems. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. And KJ notes, and this has been a trend that continues. KJ notes that that footage came out the same day as Ciara's Glamour magazine cover. Every time Ciara posts something big, Amanda or Wes will post something to kind of like take it away, or they'll let the press know something so that they can also be covered in that same day. Call the paparazzi on themselves.
Yeah, they seem like unbothered by the attention, the negative press.
They're choosing violence, as the young people say.
Yeah,
honestly.
Well, and they seem to just be like, they seem to really, it's like kids. They're reveling in the attention, whether it's negative or positive. They both seem to be, ugh. I don't even know how to like articulate it because it's so foreign to me, but yeah. It's weird. And Carl says of the whole situation, it's embarrassing. It's so fucked up. And KJ says that he was supposed to go to that game with West, but they're not friends anymore. And KJ, in his little crackly voice, says it hurts. I considered him a brother. And as we later find out how shitty West was to him and what KJ's been through, good Lord.
That's disgusting. It's disgusting. He's a liar. He's a liar and he's a cultural vulture. And he played us all. Goddamn, can't believe it. So we go to West and Amanda's room. They're in, I guess it sounds like they are familiar with this soundstage. And don't they usually do it at Silver Cup Studios? Anyway, doesn't matter. But I guess there's a room that none of them have ever been put in before. And West and Amanda are in that room. And it is really, really gross to see their names on the same door. It's super gnarly. And Amanda says to West, I can't breathe. And I don't know if it's because of anxiety or if it's because of my corset is too tight.
I don't even know. Like right away, I'm bothered by her for saying corset.
Me too.
Just call it a fucking corset.
Corset, right.
You trash bag. Like don't come at me with corset with what you're here to talk about, ma'am.
And Wes is like, I think it's probably both. And then he says that he's feeling zen. Oh my God.
That, again, it's just like the cognitive dissonance of a statement like that in a moment like this is off the charts. What do you mean you're feeling zen? What?
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine feeling zen, even if I have nothing to hide going out into a reunion stage. You're still, you know that everything you've done in that season, that you've laid up at night going, I wish I hadn't said that, or that wasn't my finest moment, or that day I was low blood sugar and I acted like a real asshole. I'm sure I'm going to get raked over the coals for that, or whatever. Like, zen? Where are you? What are you doing? Get out of here.
The utter, like, unawareness or inconsideration of everyone else. Like, we've just come from the room where Carl is like, you know, anxious and concerned and everybody's on edge and like West is zen. Dude, you're the reason all of these people are dysregulated and you're zen about that. And I'm not saying you can't come in like stabilized, but like zen sounds like there's no emotion about what everyone is going through that you put them through not because of the affair or not because you're sleeping with Amanda, but because you lied to them. They all asked and you said absolutely not. And they believed you. And now you're zen about that? Like that is the piece. Again, the cover up is always worse than the crime. Like I don't care I really don't care who's sleeping with who. I care about how everyone went about denying it. And, the lengths these two went to paint themselves as victims of a ravenous public who wouldn't
What the
leave them
hell?
be. The internet's really on one tonight. You're on one, and
Yeah.
it's West's crotch. That's the one you're on.
Grody. No one's even on the stage yet, and we're already a half hour in. That's hilarious. So, Jesus Christ. So Bailey and Lindsay are in glam, and Bailey is really glad that Ciara is going to have a chance to speak her piece. We learn that Lindsay's going to be wearing a red dress. I love it. Andy, it was Ciara. It was so sad.
It was just real. This whole situation is still so raw. And that is what was so confusing about West and Amanda's attitude, as opposed to Ciara, who Andy walks in the door and you can see immediately she's emotional because she knows what's about to happen and it matters to her. And she's already weepy and her voice is wavering. And he asks how she is. And she says, I've had better days. And Andy asks who she feels more betrayed by. And she says Amanda. She says she's shocked by West, but really hurt by Amanda. And her most pressing question is just the all-present question that no one can ever properly answer in a situation like this, which is, why? Why? Why did you do it? Why with each other? Why? And there's no satisfying answer to that. So I think, that's an existential question. And certainly Amanda and West aren't going to answer one of those in a meaningful way. So, yeesh.
So then in Jesse, Kyle, Carl, Ben, and KJ are... Whose dressing room are they in at this point?
They're in that big makeup room for the boys.
That's right. So Jesse reports that there is a dick pic of West going around. And Kyle's like, yep, I've already even sent it. Carl's like, I've seen it too. And everyone, they all giggle about how West is flaccid in the pic. And also, I will say, because I am fair, because I am kind, because I have awareness, and I'm not saying these things to toot my own horn. I'm very angry. And it would be very convenient for me to leave out the fact that the night before this, less than 12 hours before they've all been called to be at the studio to tape this reunion, West's grandmother was murdered by his cousin, by West's cousin. His grandmother's fucking grandson. And I don't know if his parents had told West about it or not at this point. I don't remember if I may have read whether or not he had been told, but I don't remember right now. But
yeah, I also wonder
to be zen in that moment too.
Well, in fairness, it's like a step grandparent, and I don't know their family situation.
They've been married for 50 years, so I think step grandparent is maybe she was a stepmom to. I don't remember if it's West's dad's or mom's stepmother or whose stepmother it would be, but it sounded like, and I don't mean to cut you off just to do it for sport, but it's just because people were like, well, if it's the step grandmother, then maybe he's not that close.
I don't
but
mean that.
She had already been married to his grandfather for 50 years.
I mean, I guess the only reason I'm hoping that he either was not aware of that yet, if these people were close to him, because if that's the case, then my whole take on this changes 100%. If anyone has experienced murder or sudden death, you get a pass. So if he was aware of it and they were close, then I will redact everything that I say today and throughout. I've had experiences not dissimilar from that, and it changes you immediately. And I might not give a shit about Amanda or anyone else. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
It's so shocking, and it's so next level but I mean, and I also don't know if we're entitled to hear that. If he showed up and he's feeling
that's a good
zen,
question.
maybe it's just because he's not freaking out about, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good point.
So if that enters the conversation, it's a completely different conversation. So I think what I'm trying to do is take it out of the conversation so I can be loudly disappointed and confused by West.
Oh, I am absolutely, yes. I am loudly confused by him regardless of what happened the night before. because I still think that there is a world in which you say this. I don't know. I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I don't fucking know.
I mean, if it happened and it mattered, I don't, and these are people he was deeply close to. I don't understand how he could be there and functional in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. That is a massive
Yeah.
tragedy on more than one level. So, like, I guess I'm just trying to, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either.
Or he's a true sociopath and nothing matters to him.
Honestly. Yep. Yep. So Andy goes in with West and Amanda. And yeah, you wrote in your notes, beta blocked. Are they beta blocked? I've never acted like that on beta blockers. I've never, I didn't even notice that I was on them. And again, twice a day, morning and at night for my anxiety. I took them and I thought maybe Xanax.
I don't know.
would
I
make
was
me
just
act
trying to
like
figure
that,
out
but-
like how they were so emotionally disconnected. I was trying to attribute it to something because
I
I'm like,
know.
a human being can't be this emotionally checked out from what this day is.
Very detached. I was never that checked out if I was just on a beta blocker. Maybe but I was in a good mood if I was on a Xanax. That's the thing. I was a little happy, but I also wasn't about to, have to face people that I hurt.
I mean, in fairness,
terribly.
they seemed a little happy. And
They
I get
kinda
that they're
did.
like giddy to be around each other because they're newly infatuated with one another.
So gross, dude.
And they just sort of had this like, well, it's game time attitude about the day.
Totally.
And it's not a game. It's like, it's real people who you've already harmed 2 years ago. We just had a very similar situation. And somehow 2 years later, you've made it 100 times worse. And you're like, all right, we're ready. Let's just fucking go. Okay. And
So
Andy
gnarly.
asks the room, how are you feeling about seeing Ciara tonight? And I thought West would answer, but Amanda answers. And she goes, I mean, there's a lot of guilt. That's my friend. And it kills me that I'm the one who caused her any pain. And I was like, tell your tone. I don't hear anything that sounds like guilt and like it's killing you.
Nothing.
And Andy says, well, you two seem very calm, almost in a condemning way.
Yeah. Like, am I really seeing this? Are these, and again, how many franchises, how many groups of unhealed, uninterested in recovery people has he reunioned hosted for the last 20 years? How many? How many?
This is like Erica Jane doesn't give a shit about orphans and widows level of dead insideness. Yeah. And Andy exits their room. Like he gets out of there as fast as he can. And he kind of like fumbles with the door handle as he's on his way out. Cause it's almost like, get me out of this like dark energy space. Like these two weirdos are showing up in a way that it's inconceivable. I truly don't get it. Even attributing it to drugs, I don't get it. It's
I don't
still
either.
like, it's so bizarre.
Thank God. Thank God we don't get it.
Oof.
Oh, man. Yeah. Then we have a scene with Kyle, Ciara, and Mia. And Ciara and Kyle are commiserating over how hard reunion prep was watching the last 2 episodes. And Kyle brings up that he noticed he texted Ciara and she'd started to text him back and then stopped. And he was like, oh, what were you going to say? And she shares that she couldn't bring herself to text him after watching the last episode because she felt so badly for having so misunderstood where he was coming from that summer, that he was really bottoming out. She affirms, because he says, I was bottoming out. And she's like, I saw that now. And just the comparing and the contrasting from the 2 people that we just left in their dressing rooms to watching Ciara understand how her behavior affected Kyle, catching herself, oh, I wasn't dialed into what my friend was going through. Regardless of why, you can tell that it gets to her humanity. She can't stand it. She's hurting, examining her own behavior and how it hurt Kyle. And even though he completely understands and he harbors no ill will, she is devastated by that. And watching her, it was so moving. I wanted to cry.
Well, and now she does have her own very real experience of being treated like shit by Amanda. So I think she's suddenly like, what I thought couldn't be so, I couldn't imagine the lengths to which this person is capable of going to be cruel. So I imagine it was infused with some of that of like, I really didn't know what you were living with on a day-to-day basis. And boy, is it something awful.
And then what does she do? She apologizes
And she's
for
specific.
misunderstanding. And she's
Yep.
specific. And she looks him in the eye. I know that Kyle forgave her before she even asked for forgiveness. Kyle totally understands. This is like, it is, I am grateful for the perspective shift. Again, I am not here to rewrite history, but I see his nuances. I understand. And seeing him through his coworkers and his castmates and his friends' eyes is also helping me. Because I don't like Amanda so much, I'm just being honest, I am glad that he is getting a little bit of a redemption arc. I'm a human being. I'm an empathetic human being at the end of the day.
I had dinner with a close friend of mine, and her sister works with Kyle's sister. And my friend was saying to me, it's been years of Kyle's sister saying, like, you can't imagine what this woman does. And I, up until these last few months, I would have been like, oh, please, she's a dud. She's harmless. She's milquetoast. And now I'm like, oh, what? Can you get specifics? Because I truly can't imagine what this woman is capable of.
Does she realize that she can buy herself a new car or possibly a house, depending on the location that she's looking, if she was to spill this story?
She's a deeply principled person who would never.
Of course she is. She's hanging out with you.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just, but it was interesting to hear because, like, my friend and I are both like big Bravo fans, and my friend's sister is less so, but would report all this information back. And it has been years of this reporting, and my friend blew it off. And then when we had dinner this time, she was like, oh my God, he's been telling me for over a decade that this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. So anyways, there's a track record even within Kyle's family of like knowing. And again, Kyle is not without responsibility in the dysfunction of that marriage. But anyways, why did I go off on that tangent? People misunderstanding Kyle, and Ciara apologized for that. And then, she's crying, and Kyle tells her, he's like, don't cry, we have all day. And Ciara commits to not getting mad or storming off the stage, and Kyle says, I'm not going to touch alcohol. And Ciara says she won't cry, and everyone just kind of stands still because it's like, of course you will. You're about to be on stage for 12 hours talking about unbelievably, sensitive subject matter.
So the cast starts to walk in to the soundstage. And I don't know about you, Margie, but when Amanda, Wes, and Ciara walked in, like starting with Amanda, like my stomach felt sick.
They did a great job with like the music too. They changed everything, and the tension was like, without the music, I would have felt sick. But like, yes, it made it extra intense.
What must poor Ciara be thinking when she's walking in? She looked terrified. Poor thing. West staring at her ass as she passes him by and takes her seat. And granted, there was a lot going on in the dress to catch your eye, but still, like, do something quasi normal. Have some sort of decorum. Thank you, camera person, for just being tight on West's eyeline. She walks by, and I was stunned. Disgusting.
I mean, the dress worked. Like that, honestly, a revenge dress is for exactly that reason of like, look at this, you'll never touch it again, So I was glad he got a look, and she looked gorgeous and
stunning.
Everyone was super supportive. As soon as she sat down, everyone was sure to like greet her, tell her she looked beautiful, and
Jesse, all rise. It's true. I was like, oh yeah, we do need to stand up. Yeah, that was amazing. Oh, Jesse.
It did make me laugh when, Lindsay came out in the red dress that was very reminiscent of Ariana's revenge dress from the Vanderpump Rules reunion. And I hadn't seen this online. They did an insert shot of Kyle, who had been his head had been photoshopped onto Ariana's revenge dress. And it was very well done. And it made me laugh out loud.
His head
And
when he had the mullet.
it was perfect.
It's even more hilarious. Yeah.
They did an amazing job and it was really funny. But,
Yeah.
he's a wronged party as well, but is not.
Absolutely.
The revenge dress is, not in his style house. Someone else could pull it off, but probably not Kyle.
So the hits do keep coming for West. Wow. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. He gets a text they're moments before they're about to start in earnest. West gets a text that nudes of him are circulating in Missouri.
I love Andy. Yeah.
No,
he just
ahead.
goes, when it rains, it pours. I was like, oh.
Just go ahead. No, you.
West had said that the nudes are in Missouri. And then Carl and Jesse both pipe up to say like, oh, we've already seen them. And West is like, you have? And I'm like, West, what did you think? That the internet stops in Missouri? Are you joking? Like, you are the hottest topic on every gossip site right now. Of course your nudes have been leaked. And Jesse tells him, I've got the nude, and West wants to see it. And there are, in fact, 3 of them. And West confirms that he goes, that's me.
Of course, he has to ask. His first question isn't like, oh my God, or whatever. The first thing out of his mouth is, am I hard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If people are going to see me, I want to be, whatever.
Right?
But of course he's not, which is, karma's.
Right, exactly.
Whoever hacked and leaked these made a choice, and they chose the soft ones.
Amanda has to say, "Oh, I haven't. No one sent them to me. I haven't seen them."
Well, you don't need one, honey. You're in bed with it every night. So, like, I don't. Everything she said, I just was like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
So the reunion gets officially underway. Andy says what we've all been like so happy about. Ciara, how are you handling the fact that like the entire internet, the entire world is like, we love you, we're here for you. And she's just really grateful for the fan support.
And this is where Andy tells Kyle he thought a month ago you would be the villain of the season. And he asks Kyle how it feels to be in this position. And Kyle, I thought this was like very honest. He says, it's bittersweet. It's nice to be off the hot seat. But like, what is this position I'm in now? He's like, I've never been on this side of the couch. And I mean, it must just feel like shit. Like, you're not the villain, but only because your wife, still your wife, is fucking your friend, screwed over your other friend, and you're divorcing her. Like, the divorce was hard enough. All of these added elements, like, it must just be, I think he would have been more comfortable almost being in the villain position. He clearly was prepped and ready to take that on. And this, nobody can prepare for this. What is this?
And as Ciara and Kyle are both answering their respective questions from Andy, Amanda she won't even look at them. She's just looking down. At least that's what they're showing us. That's what they're cutting. So gnarly, dude. And when Andy gets to Amanda, she robotically says she's ready to explain, take accountability, and apologize, especially to Ciara and Kyle. And Ciara mentions to Kyle, like on the side, like, well, at least she's saying our names. And Amanda's like, what? What? Because she can't hear. And then she makes light of it. Oh, God. So gross, dude. So gross.
Yeah, she seemed annoyed because she said what? And Ciara's like, at least you could say our names. And she goes, ah. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you shocked, Amanda? Do you not understand the problem with not having said their names? Like, the carelessness and the thoughtlessness of these two is just amazing to me. It almost is like they want to be villains. It's almost like they studied what would make them most hateable as opposed to what might engender like some sympathy from the audience. They skipped anything that seemed remotely, I don't know. And explaining, don't come to explain. Come to fucking apologize and eat shit and make a vow to earn your friend's trust back, or just apologize for what's happened. I just, again, I cannot wrap my head around like, what was the strategy? What the hell did these two think this was going to accomplish? They're nuts.
They were only concerned, and they said it with their own mouths. Clear things up, straighten up the timeline. That's all they wanted to. That's all they gave a rat's ass about doing.
To them, it's a court of law. It's not like real friendships, real people, real emotions,
Unbelievable.
real lives.
Everybody is better off knowing the truth about these assholes. Everybody is better off. Everybody is better off. Ugh, God. So Andy asks West, because in the past, West has done abysmally at reunions. This one's going to be different, and that he's ready to clear up the wildfire of what this has become. And he also has some sweat shields, a pack of 50, just in case he needs them. Because he sweat through his reunion suit
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
But the phrasing, the wildfire of what this became, again, you went to a baseball game and kissed Amanda. Like, you could have not gone to the game. You could have gone to the game and not kissed her. Like, there are so many ways that you made the wildfire. You're an arsonist.
Totally.
And you're like, how did this become a wildfire? I'm like, because you said it. He's just, oh my God. It's to borrow your word, it's diabolical.
It's
like,
diabolical.
It literally is like, it's a whole different level of thinking that is shocking.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And therefore, Carl is a mess. He is nervous and anxious, and Jesse really, you can feel it coming off him. He's sad. Like, this is landing on him, that the friend group is fractured, and he's concerned that they're mourning what was, and he's hoping that they can find common ground and move forward as best they can. But I think everyone is in touch with the reality. Like, there's no going back. So everyone would have to get real committed to moving forward. And that would require West and Amanda to be people that they aren't.
Yeah. Mia reports that Rihanna told her she was a bad bitch, which we all learned about in Watch What Happens Live, because I think she had just seen Rihanna the night before that happened. And that she would have said, I'm a bad bitch today too. And yeah, absolutely. KJ is sad. This is family. And obviously family has issues. But I just feel like there's a lot of fraudulent activity. Oh,
that's it. Done and done. The reunion could have ended right there. Like, that's it. It's not going to get better.
Ben reports that his missus is 10 out of 10. Thank you for asking. And just to go back to what Carl said that we should hold ourselves, like referring to himself and his castmates, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. And when he said that, Margie, I gasped out loud. I was like, wow. Now, if I heard that, if Carl was referring to my behavior, but not naming me by name, I would want to evaporate into a pile of dust. Like, I would want to vaporize on the stage. I would feel so terribly knowing that I had done something that is going to make Carl say, we should be holding ourselves to a higher standard. We need to be honest and we need to be real. We owe that to the people that watch this show.
And to each other.
And to each other, yes. I wonder if it stung. I wonder if it got Amanda and West's attention. More Amanda than West, I wonder. West is a lost fucking cause. Amanda, I think, is a lost fucking cause too. But like, I want her to, I'm a human. I hope that she's having a hard time. I hope she's having as hard time as some of the strangers are having that are watching this and having to watch, like, digest this and talk about this show. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just like stunned. Our eyeballs are dry from being wide and open, watching for the next thing to come out. Is she experiencing anything? You know? Is she having a hard time? Because right now she's scrolling in front of the fucking Coliseum. And like, Carl Radke said, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. That just like blew my mind that he said that. It's like, oh shit. Oh shit. Anyway.
Then we head into the Amanda and West relationship segment proper. As Andy says, we have to address the elephant in the room. And he sort of lays out the history of, there were reports of hand-holding back in February, and then the statement that came out at the end of March, released by the two of them. And Andy asked Ciara when she first suspected the two of them were involved, and Ciara said it was January 17th because she saw Amanda's location was at West's house. And Ciara innocently called her to invite her out for drinks, not it sounds like she didn't think anything of that location initially until Amanda did not answer the call. And then Amanda did not answer Ciara's text. And it took Mia putting all of them in a group text for Amanda to a half an hour later finally respond. And Amanda defends this behavior by saying, well, West was there for me all summer. And Ciara rightfully cuts her off and is like, and where was I? Where was I? And she makes Amanda say it like, you were there for me too. And Ciara, apparently knowing that Amanda was going through a separation, had been reaching out to her a bunch to ask her to hang out, to ask her to go to drinks, to say, do you want me to come over? And Ciara says, and you act like your phone doesn't work. Yeah, she was with West. And she's trying to deny it and say she was spreading her time. She was spread so thin. Everyone, all of a sudden, Amanda, who has had no friends, suddenly all of New York City is asking her out. And she said yes to everyone. That's her excuse, which everyone knows is bullshit.
Complete and utter bullshit. And then Amanda tells Ciara to fuck off.
Well, not before Mia. I thought this was a really good point. Mia's like, I find it interesting that you're prioritizing your relationship with West. And Amanda goes, am not. I was like, oh my God, you're 6. And she's just crazy defensive. And she also is confronted about, are you guys breadcrumbing on Instagram with all of those videos that we've now all seen of them being out together all the time at bars and touching fingers in a video, doing the Macarena, all this bullshit. And this is when Amanda says she's been hanging out with other friends. And Ciara goes, friends of West. And she goes, no, not friends of West. Fuck off. And Ciara takes a beat. And then she goes, shut the fuck up, Amanda. You don't want to cross that bridge with me. I don't see your man sticking up for you now. And West is literally sitting there with his mouth breathing face and his hands, his tiny hands in his lap. And yeah, Amanda shouldn't.
Unbelievable.
The fact that the words fuck off came out of her mouth is just, I cannot imagine the headspace these two are in. If I were them, the words fuck off would not be on the table at all for me to say in the direction of someone that I have deceived and hurt. What is happening, dude?
Unreal.
It's crazy.
Unfucking real. Unreal. Oh, poor Jesse. He just sounded so sad when he's recounting how Amanda and Wes lied to his fucking face. He asked them. He asked Amanda face to face. So Jesse had been accused of being the Tom Schwartz of the situation, who in Scandival knew the whole time that Tom was cheating and even had Tom and Raquel at his house to do their dirty deeds. But Jesse had sat down with Amanda face to face, who lied to him and said nothing's going on. And he'd asked West repeatedly via text, who denied that anything was going on. So 2 people he trusted and whose word he took seriously betrayed him. Period. God. That's so gnarly.
And then West is so fucking casual about it. He's like, I'll take accountability for the lying. It's not cool to do. In general, it's not cool to do your friends. I'm like, not cool? Like, it is. It's so heavy. I guess West has never been lied to, or maybe he just doesn't care if people do. But like being lied to, when you ask someone a direct question that has the answer will have an emotional impact on you. When they choose to lie, that's a choice. And it's so harsh. And for Wes just to be like, no, I know it's not cool. Not cool what I did. Not cool what you did is like, you know, I don't know, breaking someone's bottle of cologne and blaming it on the dog and not paying for it to replace it. I don't know. That's not cool. The ramifications are so much deeper. To just go with like, I take accountability, that's not cool. It's like, I just don't even know what's happening. It's nuts.
Totally. It's so ugly. So dirty.
But Ciara knows what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Ciara says the problem is you lie about your life. You lie about who you are. You live a different life off camera than on camera. We don't know what you're doing. You've been here for 3 years and nobody really, truly knows who you are. Probably the reason it was most confusing is because you had a girlfriend, Mija. And Wes says, not a girlfriend, but I was seeing someone. Oh, God. I may I never know. May I never know what it's like. May I never know what it's like to get that dirty. May I never know. I pray for that I never know. So Lindsay says that Mija Moreno, who is the woman that designed the tie that he wore on Watch What Happens Live, Lindsay says that Mija said that they were exclusive, and she spent the night with him the night before he taped Watch What Happens Live, and she brought him the horsehair tie. Andy asks Amanda, did you know about her? And she says, yes, I did know. We had a conversation. We had a whole conversation about it. We had a whole conversation about it. That's all she's going to tell us. We know how Amanda acts in like, I'm not interested. I don't give a shit how she reacted. We know how she reacted, but like that's what she says. We had a whole conversation about it. And Mia's like, Amanda, I have to ask you a question. You went to being married to one of West Side bitches? That's crazy. Why? How? Like, how do you do that? And then Andy brings up the relationship statement, thankfully. And he says it came out rushed because they were feeling pressured. Amanda says they were feeling pressured and there were lots of layers to the situation.
West says this idiot. He's like, well, it came out rushed because we were feeling pressured and there were a lot of layers to the situation.
Oh, my God.
And I love Carl for jumping in and being like, isn't that enough layers to go, what the fuck are we doing here? And stop it. It's like,
right?
Yeah, that's what a thoughtful adult would do.
Totally. And then Ciara points out, okay, well, if you guys were having discussions about it, then you knew something was stinky and maybe we shouldn't be doing this if we have to put this much thought and this much discourse into this word salad of a statement that they put out. And then Amanda starts sticking to her point, which does not apply in this matter. You can't choose who you like or who you're attracted to. And this is where Ciara comes in with her now infamous and absolutely true statement from the leaked audio comparing her to a snake in the grass.
She said, you did it on purpose because you're a fucking snake, Amanda. You move silent, but you're fucking deadly. And I did love that Mia noted like a fart. And I was like, thank you for saying it, because anyone with a childish mind was thinking it. Even in this serious of a moment, someone said silent but deadly, and I went, tee-hee. I'm a child.
KJ just looks at Jesse and Carl like bars.
Yes, I know. I love him.
No lie detected. 10 out of 10, no notes.
What, like 25? And he's like miles more mature than I'll ever be.
Exactly.
Because he says bars and I said tee-hee.
Yeah.
Both are true. And then Carl says that the statement was a terrible move, but he says if you're going to do it, apologize to Kyle and Ciara directly. And Amanda's like, well, we just, and Carl interrupts her and is like, who is the statement for? It's like singing happy birthday without using someone's name. And then Amanda says that she texted personal apologies to everyone. And this is what leads us into Ciara reading the text, the series of texts from Amanda that start when the rumors started to feel true in the press. And that's when Amanda was like, wow, the internet's really on one today, huh, girl?
And before that, like Andy's like, you must have realized that this would have needed a face-to-face conversation, not just a text, right? And Amanda said, oh, for sure. And it's like, this is just something that if I need to apologize for something, I pick up the fucking phone. If it's something that I consider to be like, there needs to be dignity around it. Like, I'm not saying a text like, hey, I'm running late, I'm sorry. Like, obviously. But like, if there's something that I want to apologize for, or if I feel like I need to apologize for, it's on its voice.
Well, but at this point, Amanda's denying all of it. She's like, the internet's crazy. And Ciara's like, just to be clear, did you do these things? No. So you didn't do any of these things? Correct. So Amanda's denying all of it. Amanda is fully 100% deep lying to who she called her best friend. So she's not at phone call, take accountability phase in any way, shape, or form. She's trying to pretend this isn't happening.
Well, I mean, when she texted people the night before saying she was going to be releasing it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the statement is that like she just texted Ciara. She didn't pick up the phone and call her. And that is egregious. That's egregious to me.
Again, even more just to apologize for the lying at that point. Like
texted
the
personal apologies.
affair is bad enough, but Amanda is like, you act like I had an affair. And it's like, you did on Ciara. Like, I know that you're separated from Kyle, but Ciara thought she was your best friend. So it's an unconventional definition of the term, but it applies.
And it's true. Like, West is Kyle's friend too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's really
and that
devious.
just showed like Amanda did not give no fucks about that man at all.
No.
None. Not even a little bit. Not even a shred. Not even a crumb of respect for him. She felt entitled in both cases.
And still does. Even after all this fallout, she still does. It's so
May I never know.
dark.
May I never know.
So Ciara starts reading these series of texts from Amanda from the beginning of these rumors coming out. And Amanda is, again, presenting herself as a victim of the public's appetite for drama. And none of this is real. And she denies any relationship with Wes. She says everything was PG. And God bless Jesse for just being fed up and going, why continue to lie? And then I can't tell. And again, this is the problem with being a liar. Everyone beware of getting yourself into this situation. Because Amanda and West have dates figured out for their first kiss and the first time they actually fucked. But again, it's like, I don't know what's true and what's not. Maybe those dates are true, but now I believe nothing you say. So I'm inclined to believe that the physical piece of this started the second you left the summer house and went to that hotel.
I mean, I agree. It absolutely it either started like they were already sexting before they entered the summer house. Something was they'd already crossed.
They were tempting. Yeah, they were. Yes.
Hashtag April 2025 truther. Absolutely. But I can't believe I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to say the word out loud. I'm just going to say that I don't think I've ever said these words out loud. Brianna Chicken Fry.
Mm-hmm.
She told another podcaster who I absolutely will not utter that person's name on our fucking sacred podcast.
The shame of the University of Michigan, yes.
Absolutely. She told him it was already on during Super Bowl. So even though Ciara and West were together at some point during the Super Bowl too. So, and I saw video from Brianna Chicken Fry of it was West, Amanda, Brianna, and another one of West's friends. And that's a video where Amanda was joking about hard launching something. And this video was from back in the wintertime too. So no, it's such bullshit. It's such bullshit for them to say that it started late February. Andy's all, when did you guys like first kiss? And they were both like, end of February. And end of February.
Even to the point of like after the brunch.
Yeah.
So they found these like points in time that they could use as landmarks so that nobody loses track of the timeline they've agreed on. Or it's true, but it's very hard to believe anything is true because it's fucking so weird. And West, I did love this. Amanda's like, I stopped sharing my location because I didn't want people knowing where I was all the time. And everyone in unison is like, because you're doing shady shit, because you were at West, because you were spending the night at West Wilson's apartment and you didn't want people to know that you were there. You idiot. And West says that he's the one who made the first move. But again, I don't know if I believe anyone or anything. And he claims, he said, am I fucking crazy or is there a little something going on here? And I'm like, do you say that to like every woman that you encounter? Because that sounds like a line. It doesn't sound like Amanda specific. And it certainly doesn't sound like how friendships become romantic. That would be weird. It's very on the nose.
It's because then he doesn't have to get rejected.
I just don't believe he said that. The way they were interacting in Summer House, you don't have to ask that question.
Yeah.
When you guys are snuggling and he's coming to defend you and you're holding her head. And
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, we're past the point of, am I crazy? Or that's when you have that moment where you sit next to each other and your knees accidentally touch and you go like, oh, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's for that moment. But this summer, the whole season, they've been all over each other. Like, give me a fucking break. Am I crazy? Or
hand on her throat, grabbing the back of her head. Yeah, exactly. He's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
And yeah, as he lays out all these details, Andy walks them through the first move, the first kiss, the first time they slept together. Everyone on that stage looks like they want to puke. And I think I probably had the same
Yeah.
like biting back, barf, teeth grit, like, oh God. And Wes tries to soften the blow by saying it's not a sex scandal. I'm like, it's worse.
It's absolutely
Dude,
right.
it's worse.
It is absolutely. It has shades of sex scandal. It has it's the betrayal goes far beyond that. But West, you are so
It doesn't make
out
it
of your
better.
mind.
I think he's lying, but it doesn't make it better, even if it was true that they only started sleeping together a couple weeks ago. It's all bad. And Lindsay's like, yeah, dude, we know you only started fucking a couple weeks ago. Good job. And I was like, Lindsay, yes. Lindsay's New York really came out in this episode, and I was here for it.
So Ciara continues to read texts where Amanda blatantly lies and paints herself as a victim.
That was like the most disgusting part.
I couldn't believe it. But people are psychos. Like she really
I can't live my life without everyone looking at me.
examining it.
Because
Yeah.
you're doing something shitty, dude, and everyone stinks. You stink and everyone smells you.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So while Ciara is reading, Amanda just interrupts and says, okay, well, I guess I should have just said I had feelings for someone I wasn't supposed to, and I don't know what to do.
Yes, dude. Yes, that's correct. And instead of saying that in a snotty, shitty way, and I don't know why she interrupted Ciara reading those texts, because it must have gotten worse, is my guess. And instead of saying like a shitty, petulant bitch, you should have said that to her like, Ciara, you're right. Everything you're reading is bullshit. I was lying to you because I'm a fucking coward. And I didn't want to tell you what was really going on because it's embarrassing and painful and confusing. I have feelings for your ex-boyfriend. And I know that's gross. And I don't know what to do about it. And that's what I should have said. But instead she's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I just should have said that. Like, check your tone, villain.
Exactly. And Ciara's like, yeah, what you're supposed to do is then remove yourself. That's what a normal friend would do. And Amanda tries the angle that what she did wasn't so bad. I'm not allowed to pursue something that I feel strongly about. Like,
everyone jumps on this too.
Right?
Kyle starts, you clearly don't feel strongly because in the statement you said you're trying to understand your feelings. And Mia just levels her with like, are we morally bankrupt? And Lindsay's like, yeah, you do this in high school. We're in our 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they all just have her read to death. Ciara says, you are downplaying it. That's exactly what you came here to do today. And it's true. That is exactly what Amanda's doing. Like, I just had feelings and I just pursued them. Wouldn't anyone? No.
No,
people
dude.
in their 30s would know who they're having feelings for and walk away from it. As painful and like and excruciating as it is not to be able to, feed a desire that deep, a normal person cares more about a friendship than to act on that impulsively.
I cannot
Stupid.
imagine a world, again, like when Lindsay's like, yeah, when we're in high school, we're in our 30s. Yeah, now. And I told you like weeks back, like the one time I made a terrible decision was high school. And I still feel bad about it. And it was high school. But I'm looking at it like now. And if I was ever to run into that person, I would absolutely say like, oh my God, that was horrible. I don't give a shit my fucking prefrontal cortex wasn't fully formed by then. I still knew, even at 16, 17 years old, what I was doing was fucked. But I did it. But I was in high school.
Well, and people make mistakes like this all the time. The problem is like what Ciara said, you're downplaying it. If Amanda had just come in here and said, I know this is huge, what's happening. And I need you to know that if I didn't feel so strongly about this person, I wouldn't have touched it. But I did, and I lied. Like, that's the problem. Adults make mistakes all the time, too. There is temptation. It's why it's in wedding vows, forsaking all others, because the expectation is that you will be tempted by another. So you take that very heavy vow. And, like, whatever. Kids screw up, adults screw up. The problem is exactly what Ciara said. You're downplaying how impactful this is to me, to the friend group, to our source of employment on this level. Like, Summer House was sold as a vibes show. You killed the vibe. So
They totally did. Hardcore, they killed that vibe. They mad killed that vibe, dude. Seriously. So Andy closes out this portion of the conversation with Ciara's intentions for the reunion. And all she can say is, I mean, after that, I don't know. I mean, I guess we might as well discuss the details before I put them in the ground and cover them with dirt.
I love her.
I love her.
And I do really feel that doesn't feel to me like a line that she had written for her. That really feels like someone who was so disappointed and confused, like all of us were, by how West and Amanda entered this space. Because she starts by saying, I mean, after that, I don't know. And I'm like, me neither, dude. Because I would have wanted, when I have like friendships, people who I love so much, I'm looking for ways to forgive and heal and mend and move on. And I imagine Ciara went in there looking for that, and they gave her nothing. And in fact, they gave her more reason to be mad at them and be disgusted by them and want to cut them out of her life, put them in the ground, and put dirt on them. Yeesh.
My God. So they go to break. When they come back, everyone's kind of talking about how great Lindsay looks. And Jesse says, Lindsay, I think she kind of looks like Cruella de Vil.
She does. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, she does. Because she does look great, but there's like a lot of makeup and a kind of hairspray situation where like nothing's moving. And like she does kind of look like a Disney villain.
She was full diva. Mm. And Carl says, yeah, she looks good.
He does it his weird Carl way there. He goes like, yeah, looks good. And everyone like makes fun of him because he's such a nerd.
And Lindsay's all, oh, you want another hug, Carl? And Carl's all, hug house. I'll always take a hug.
I loved that.
Let it go. My God.
I thought it was cute.
It was cute, but like, okay, it's done. It's done. He likes hugs. Who doesn't like a hug? Anyway.
Hug house. I mean, we needed some fucking transition to go from I'll bury him and cover him with dirt. So we needed to have a little Cruella de Vil hug house moment to move us into this segment that just nobody cares about. Levi enters and she does look gorgeous. And we find out Levi and Bailey are in soft bar green in support of their buddy Carl. And Levi had fun this summer. I literally was like, why?
She looked horrified several times on camera, but that's cool if you say you had fun.
I mean, could we just cut this, please? Why was this an hour and 18 minutes to find out Levi had a fun summer? Great.
I don't know, man.
And then we get to the part that you were talking about. Ciara's costumes were great. Everyone praised her Karma Brown boobies. Best $300 she ever spent on eBay. And Lindsay's, cutout gave hand jobs. And Kyle tried to post it on TikTok, but it got censored. Ha, ha, ha. And then we bring the mood, we rein it all back in again as Mia has a little moment here and she just expresses her gratitude for Ciara. They both live in the same building, as we know, and they love it. And Mia has lost so much. She's lost both parents, and we later find out that her relationship with Scott is over. And she said she's really grateful for the security of someone like Ciara in her life, the stability of a friend like that, as she is still struggling with grief over her mom's death. And I loved how she just told the truth of it. Every day is different. Some days she's smiley and bright, and other days she can't get off the couch. She's paralyzed and sad and lonely. And how she's working herself through those moments as she thinks about living for her mom and dad. And she gets herself up to do the things they would want her to do in her life. And I thought that was really practical and really helpful and really honest. And I loved her for that.
I will absolutely be practicing that. If I can't live for myself, can I live for somebody else? Probably my kid, Can I function for somebody else that means a great deal to me? Beautiful package. Beautiful.
Well, and it ends with a perfect little shot at Amanda because Mia is now single, and Andy asks if you're looking for someone significant or just someone to fuck around with. And she's like, I'm not looking for anyone. It's unhealthy to go from one serious relationship to another. Cut to Amanda. Cut back to Mia, and she says, I'm taking time to celebrate me. And I thought that seemed lovely and healthy and hard. It's hard. Being alone is hard. It's everything she's talking about. It's lonely. You wind up facing your grief. Nobody wants to do that shit. But lands you in a better place eventually. And I think Mia's really brave to do that. And I'm excited for her
Me
because I
too.
know she'll emerge from this moment in time, like in a really, like into a really new, clear, happy space because she's going through this moment.
She was so intentional when she painted the portrait of what her process is. I am pouring my energy into me. That is so intentional. And I was just like, ha, 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 ha. Like, I didn't give a shit that she probably was like, shots fired, lightly shots fired, elegantly shots fired, sophisticated shots fired. But like, still, are you listening, Amanda? Because Kyle to West, Mia's like going to blind tiger in a dirty shirt, an oversized brown leather jacket. I do believe her when she's saying that she's pouring energy into her.
Yeah.
I don't know who I want to hang out with. Anyway, ay, 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 Ben and Bailey. I'll tell you. I started to I started to come around and see what you're talking about. I did. And I also
So sick of him and his stupid hair.
Yeah,
I focused in on his hair so I could get through this scene, and I just got mad at his hair too. I'm like, why does it grow like that?
yeah.
It just is on my nerves. I don't care. What he looks like is not of import. How he behaves is, and it sounds even worse than we knew. We gotta look at how he talks to Sabrina, and it was so gnarly.
I mean, in that scene, I think they were kind of, I think he was kind of joking around, like taken out of context. But I also understand. Listen, I'll
With
tell you
his
what my
track
note,
record, and it didn't read hilarious. That you better be real funny.
my notes verbatim, Margie is right, Bailey is right. That's my note. That's my note.
I mean, yeah, and again, it's like if he wasn't defensive, it would have
Totally.
been fine. But he claims he didn't know how profound Bailey's crush on him was at the beginning of the summer. And Bailey says she was just trying to be funny when she said Ben wanted to sleep with Amanda. She thought it was a topic they had a sense of humor about because they opened the whole summer by talking about how they met was skinny dipping. And then Ben does this weird move of claiming he's never had a conversation with Bailey before that moment. And everybody on the stage was like, what? All of the new people, all four of us hung out that whole first weekend. She says, I have pictures of the three of us out. Like, that is absolutely simply not true. And then Bailey just brings it home and says, Ben only reprimands women. She hates how he talked to her. He did also talk to Amanda like that. Why did you say that to Sabrina? You know? And she hates how Ben talks to Sabrina. And then we get this flashback of Ben scolding. You know, Sabrina was probably drunk and she was doddering around and not getting ready fast enough for Ben. And he just says, God forbid we have fucking children we're trying to get to school. And I was like, whoa. And then he's just defensive about all of it. And then Bailey gives us her closing argument of, you know, well, I think he was also pissed because he had a secret girlfriend and he was dating Sabrina the whole time. And Ciara says, I feel like a lot of guys in this house have secret girlfriends.
Yeah, I mean, he told us as much that they weren't like together, but he wanted to be. He was clear. I mean, now it looks like he was already preoccupied and probably planning how he was going to re-engage with Sabrina.
He's like any guy. He got a job on a TV show, so he put her off to see if he could feel out the house if there was a good option there for him. There wasn't, and so he went back. He's gross.
Oh my God. So then Andy is like, Bailey, you thought it was hot when Carl was pissed, but Ben, you were disgusted. And she's like, yeah, Carl wasn't yelling at me. Ben was yelling at me. And Ben tries to like justify it, to like willfully not see the difference between the two of them.
Well, and Bailey tells him the difference. Carl was yelling because he was defending a woman. You were just yelling at me. So that's why what you did was not hot and why I could make what Carl was doing hot. And then we just touch on Bailey and Carl's connection. And you know, they're cute and sweet. And I think in the extended version, Lindsay said they share a goofiness, and I think that's true. But I don't get chemistry between them. Maybe in a few years that will emerge. But basically, Carl's like, we're on a friendship trajectory. And he's still getting used to being a sober person because hooking up is really different. You have to be really comfortable with the person, and it just takes a while to get there. And not that he couldn't get there with Bailey, but he's not there yet.
And also, they have a 10-year age difference. And those 10 years for Carl Radke have been like 20, 30 years for like
It's
the
literally
average
the run of
person.
Summer House.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've seen
And
all of those 10 years, and they have been a ride.
they have been a real ride. I can totally get it. I can totally get why maybe, but not now.
And for Bailey, too, like she's still
Exactly.
pretty.
She does not seem bummed out about it.
Well, and she's only a year out of like a really dark and abusive relationship. So, like, she's probably now just healed and can now just start to look at what she actually wants, you know? And I'm not sure that either one of them are like dying to see this through just yet. So I like their friendship. I'm glad
I
they're
do too.
protecting that.
I do too. And I love hearing how intentional Carl is being about calling in a partner. And he said it. I want to get married. I want to have a family. I have to date accordingly. And this is what I'm doing. And good for him. I only want good things for him. And then we get a package that I could have watched an entire episode about, an entire season about KJ. KJ shares the first thing Andy asks is, okay, between Mia and Ciara, the two women that you've, taken on as like proverbial sisters, which one of them lets you get away with things? Which one of them won't? And Ciara's like, we both are like, he's on the accountability train with both of us, basically. And he shares that in the fall, after the show wrapped, he checked himself into a psychiatric hospital for a week to get treatment for self-harm.
Well, I don't know if he checked himself in. It sounds like
the three of them took him, but that he was willing, that he wanted to go.
It sounded to me like he had made an attempt and it was unsuccessful, because he says at the end, like, he's grateful to be here because he may not have been, and I'm not sure how far it got, but the admission to the hospital feels, anyways, it was getting far enough. Either the attempt was made or it was far enough along that he had to be hospitalized.
I'm reading his interview from Ebony magazine where he says, having to show up as the first black guy this summer, I don't want to show any signs of weakness. I felt really weak. I was holding all of that until it all came out. I went to the hospital with Ciara, Mia, and Dara. I checked myself into the psychiatric unit and was there for a week. After that, I went to recovery in Westchester for a few months. It really changed my life because I started to learn what self-care and self-love look like. I realized that it's okay not to be okay. As a black man in a world where we feel like we have to show up and be tough, being tough is talking about your emotions and not holding the weight of the world in. Anyway, he has an article in Ebony that I invite everyone to read. It's raw and honest, and this is exactly where we watch reality television, is for people like KJ. I know that Dara's gotten heat because, she's been labeled a clout chaser this entire time, but he shares more on the article about like how what he went through affected their relationship and why they did take space apart. It was necessary for him to heal. And it sounds like he has a lot of support in those three women, Dara, Mia, and Ciara. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but,
and he really did the full treatment.
Sure did.
Like, he went into the hospital in crisis, and then he said he went to rehab for a few months. Somewhere along the way, he got a borderline personality disorder diagnosis, and he's now in therapy and on medication. And he says, this is like how he's recovering and he's going to be okay. He says he's glad it happened because he'd been running from his problems and he feels like it was good for him to face them. And he's now grateful that he was not successful in taking his life. And he is happy to share his story if it can help someone else. Already he's so that's mental wellness, you know, that he's expressing and crying along the way and like all of the having all of his feelings, you know. Man, reality TV appears to be like a real it's kind of like it just yeah, nobody comes out unscathed, and
Mm-mm.
certainly not people of color, it seems. Like
No,
there's a whole
no.
added level to have that drive him to this place is like I can't imagine what he was feeling, what he was fielding in comments, and I don't know. It just I was a little sorry that Andy didn't like ask some more questions, but maybe KJ, it's very personal. It's none of our business really anyway, but he shared a lot. But
Yeah.
I was, you know, anyways, I just love KJ, I guess. I want to, yeah.
You can find the link to the article in his Instagram. He's got the whole his whole article, his whole interview with Ebony, where he talks about what he talked about on the reunion soundstage is right there. I encourage you to give him a follow. He is a lovely, lovely account to follow on Instagram. And I
And he's
love
not an
KJ. He
influencer.
is not,
He's not pushing for likes or follows or any of that
mm-mm.
shit. He's just like a guy living his life in New York and being honest and occasionally showing up at like Burlington Coat Factory.
And so grateful to be able to have a platform, regardless of like how far down the scale he went. He is still grateful to be able to share about it because he knows that that is going to that is going to help people. And so that's all he gives a shit about, is the fact that him being honest and showing up and sharing the depths that he fell to, what happened and what it's like now. He knows that that's going to bring people peace, and it's going to probably save some lives. And that's all he's interested in doing. And so the fact that West didn't pick up his phone to apologize to KJ, I am so angry about this because of the racial aspect. I am unable to conceive of a day where I will forgive Wes and Amanda because the two of them harmed Black people.
After having explicit conversations about how that harm, I mean, we have firsthand accounts of how that plays out, and it's awful.
For Ciara, years of firsthand accounts. She has shared about this for years. And they still made those choices. They chose violence. And I mean that 100%. I'm not trying to sound funny or use current colloquialisms just to do it. They chose violence. And it's unfucking forgivable. I'm so upset. Oh, poor KJ, dude. Fucking West blowing smoke up my ass and KJ's ass. Like, how you doing, buddy? How's your anxiety? How do you like me to check in with you? He did not give a shit. Poor thing. Disgusting.
But I mean, KJ is surrounded by people who actually do care. Like Jesse is emotional and expresses gratitude that KJ is still here, and sympathy and empathy for him having to feel like that and go through that phase. Carl, who has gone through suicidal behavior in his own right, any addiction carried out to the lengths that Carl was taking it to, it's not that he was trying to kill himself, but he certainly didn't give a shit if he lived or died, you know,
Nope.
and that's when Kyle came in to intervene and Carl started his recovery journey. So he's supportive, and he says to KJ, like, you're going to do great things, man. You're going to do great things, you know, like there's a lot of people on that stage who are lovely. And I guess it just puts Amanda and West in even more glaring contrast of like, you guys, like, get on board with what's working here. And that is like being supportive and kind and empathetic and thoughtful. And no, nothing. Great. Okay.
Nope. They're just gonna go scroll their phones in front of the Coliseum.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ugh. In ugly fucking shoes. Then we have a package about Ciara's house in North Carolina. Yay. And this house is healing her relationship with her mom. As her mom she's given her mom the role of overseeing the whole construction and renovation, which is great. It sounds like it's working out for both of them. And I'm really happy to hear that.
And it's such growth on Ciara's part. She's not waiting for her mom to change because she says, time is short with our parents. And Ciara says, even though we have so many complexities with the family dynamic, I want to spend time with my mom. And that for Ciara appears to mean setting aside any need for her mom to change and just working with what they've got, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was really profound what she said. Time is short. It made me realize that time is short. Like she's having these revelations before middle age. This is a really deep fucking person.
She's putting her energy in the right place. She's letting go of West and Amanda in favor of trying to mend and heal and rediscover a new way to love and be in a relationship with her mom.
Mm-hmm. 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 And Mia notes it's a huge deal, and she makes a point of looking her friend and castmate in the eye, going like, and by the way, what did she say verbatim? Did I write it down?
Something about like diminishing her accomplishments.
Yeah.
And she's like, stop doing that. It's annoying. And Ciara was like, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. It was just really sweet. Really sweet. Andy asks Mia, why did you make it such a big deal, like bringing it up at dinner? And Mia's like, you guys, you don't understand the lengths she went to get this house. And it made me remember, oh yeah, like Mia's in real estate. Like that's her real job. And so she knows, I mean, I'm sure New York and North Carolina laws are different, but the same at the same time. So like Mia knows the amount of work that Ciara had to go through to get this house. And she wanted to make sure that everyone understood. And
it was bigger than just a regular deal. Like we heard about it. Like Ciara had to keep the fact that she was the buyer from her father, and that somehow landed them in court in order for her to close sale on the house. Like there was a whole lot of like extra weird steps that Ciara had to do to secure this house. And that's how bad she wanted it. And I think Mia, yeah, like it is a pretty amazing story that Ciara wanted it, set her mind to it, and took a million steps that other people might have thrown their hands up and been like,
Totally.
You know what, that's fine. I'll leave it.
Oh, and then a viewer, dude.
This was poetry. Holy
Completely.
shit.
A viewer wrote in and said that she wanted Ciara to know from being capital to owning capital in as little as 5 generations.
Since slavery. Yeah. She said it's a feat.
It's a feat.
And that is an understatement.
And KJ is just so proud of her and says, I want my sisters to be like you. Dude. What are you doing, Amanda? You going to a Royals-Yankees game and asking West to act like he likes you? And you're going to go scroll in front of the Coliseum? Bye.
And West is asked to weigh in. And again, he's just like so cavalier. He's like, well, I hadn't known about the house, but I know how important sentimental stuff like that is to Ciara. Sentimental stuff.
Way to see her.
Did you hear the comment that was just read about slavery and being capital to owning? What? Sentimental stuff like that. Again, I just am like, I'm at a loss. I'm at an absolute loss.
Dude.
And then he's like, well, we had a conversation at the end of summer, so I felt caught up to speed. I'm like, oh, did you? You felt good?
Oh,
okay.
Good. Oh, good, Wes. Did you feel better? Yay.
What the fuck?
Oh, my God. So Andy asks Ciara, okay, so tell us, how did you eventually let West back in? And she said she wanted harmony in the house. We were great friends at one time. I hear myself giving KJ advice, like better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And there's more to me than just this hard exterior that you guys think that that's all I am. And then Andy brings up the kiss on the last night. And we see footage of them making out. And West says, yeah, it was all a bunch of ear stuff. And everyone's like, I'm sorry, did you just say ear stuff? In my entire 53 years of walking this earth, I have never heard ear stuff before. I've heard a lot of things. I've never heard ear stuff. Margie, what?
I mean, again, it would have been like charming and adorable because he's like, yeah, ear stuff just all above the chin. And I would have laughed at that 2 months ago. But now I hate him. So I hate that he kissed her at all. I hate that he told us that. I hate that he tried to make a joke of that. And we do find out that Amanda was not aware of the extent of the canoodling. And I'm sure Amanda is not aware of anything. I'm sure all women in West's life are not aware of what West is doing. It sounds like West has a lot of plates spinning at any given time, and none of them know about the others.
So then Kyle asks, thankfully, on behalf of the rest of the fucking internet, were you breadcrumbing? Were you breadcrumbing the audience? You know what to do to win people over. And Ciara's like, yeah, the audience, meaning, did he do everything for a storyline? Yes, he did. I think he did. I 100% think he did. I'm rethinking that.
I have no idea who he is.
I think of you all the time now. We'll never know because he's a liar. And once you lie, how are we ever going to trust you?
Yeah, he talks about how after Summer House in the fall, they had a conversation about how a lot of things that are casual for West are not casual for Ciara. And he doesn't want to repeat the mistakes he made before. He's learned from those, he claims. And he says that he was proactive in trying to protect their friendship. And Ciara is like, hello, we had flirty text exchanges and I spent the night at your house twice. And he was like, well, we texted much less often than we used to. And I only remember once. And Ciara's like, it was twice. Like, he's just, again, he's getting defensive instead of just being like, you're right. I led you on. I didn't know. Like, there's another way to approach this with honesty and fucking allowing some dignity for the person who's sitting across from you. Like, my God.
God. So then Lindsay asks him, West, what's stronger for you? When you have sex or an emotional connection? And he says, emotional.
I don't even know if I believe him.
Oh, of course not.
He just looks like a punished child trying to get the right answer.
And so Mia asks him, so you don't think having sleepovers last fall and still just kissing, not having sex, that wasn't a strong connection? That wasn't important? That wasn't something to consider? And he says that the chemistry was right when we left off, even after not talking for 2 years. I fell short in those moments when he did physically engage with her, I'm assuming is that what he meant. And there were numerous moments when I tried to make steps not to allow those kinds of moments to happen, bullshit, and get to a romantic place or a physical place and keep it just as friends. I wanted to be her friend. And Andy's like, bro, we didn't see you do any of that shit.
And also, he just said, we had a conversation after summer about how I learned from what I did last time and I don't want to repeat my mistakes. Then how do you even wind up kissing? How do you wind up with her in your bed? You have no boundaries. You have no accountability. If you know you don't want to do that again, you have agency. Everyone's kicked someone out of their bed at some point. Like you say, you got to go home.
Yeah.
This is going to get complicated in a way that we discussed in that. Like you can even reference the conversation. Like he's just boundaryless and he's creating wreckage with every breath he fucking takes.
And this is how dumb both Amanda and West are, because they write their stupid statement and then people are like asking them, like they're throwing their words back in their face. And so right now Ciara's like, so even if we're trying to be friends, is this how you treat a friend? Like hooking up with Amanda? So like they are just, it takes so much energy to lie. It takes so much energy to lie and act like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm dumb. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, yes, I mean this. And it's like, you don't make any sense because nothing you're saying is adding up. And you know this, but you're still going to look at me and you're still going to try to convince me that what you're telling me is the truth right now.
Well, and Lindsay's having none of it because she goes, you know what, West, you almost got me. But I'm able to pull out of, your fucking lying victim-y vortex. And she says, you're so good at pulling people into your narrative, but you're a user and a clout chaser. And she is right to say, like, and you'll do the same thing to Amanda. You will drop her just like all the others. And then Ciara, oh my God. says, well, actually, I wonder if maybe Amanda and Wes will work out because Amanda will never check him on anything. She's very mute. She's going to be that weak figure that he needs so he can always be the star in the relationship. So I actually think maybe it could work.
I just got, my
Wow.
hair just stood up. Yeah, my hair just stood up.
Yeah.
And Kyle does lean over to Ciara, his friend, who he understands. And he's like, that was harsh. She's my wife. I know what she did, but that was hard to hear. And she's like, that's your wife. That's not my wife. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. And again,
I am sorry that Kyle is collateral damage. I am sorry in that comment, but
But he even said, like, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
He just said, like, I actually think Kyle is expressing himself really well.
So well.
He's like, I understand where your feelings are coming from. That was hard for me to hear.
Yeah.
That's a me statement. Good
Totally.
job, Kyle.
Totally. Oh my God. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for part 2.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
not satisfied yet. I don't know that I will be, but I'm open. And it doesn't matter if I'm satisfied. It only matters if Ciara's satisfied. What I need doesn't matter. But like it was, I'm again, I cannot stress enough my gratitude and relief that those 3 audios, those audio leaks came out, because I do not trust. They went real light on Erica Jane and the widows and the orphans. She still hasn't been asked about Marco by name on any of these reunions since all this bullshit went down. Kyle still gets away with all of this shit with Morgan. I don't have faith. I do not have faith that Bravo won't go to any length to protect a white woman. I just don't. And so I'm very grateful that someone dropped those audio leaks. Thank you. Thank you, unknown stranger. I applaud you. I see you. Even if you don't know what you did, I know what you did. In my opinion, that's what I see. Anyway, friend, what else did you watch?
I'm really enjoying Below Deck Down Under. The season is almost at a close, but it's been very entertaining. And I watched Southern Hospitality, which is good, and I watched The Valley, which is sad. The Valley is so, man, that is I don't know. I think I still have just enough like old Vanderpump Rules nostalgia on some of these people that I can get through an episode, but once it's over, I'm always like, oh, why do I feel like a little like sick to my stomach? Sad.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I have only seen a few episodes of The Valley, but everything I'm seeing from In the City, I'm like, ugh. It's just East Coast.
Skip it. Skip The Valley.
Yeah,
I'm in it now, so like I can't get out. Like
I'm
got me.
absolutely not interested.
But I would never recommend anyone like jump into that for a fun spring watch.
Yeah.
No fucking way. How about you? What did you watch?
In the City. I watched it on Tuesday. I don't remember a thing that happened because I was still reeling so hard from watching the reunion part 1. And then Curb Your Enthusiasm reruns and some Hacks and Palm Royale. Oh, and Widow's Bay.
Oh yeah. God, I keep forgetting to watch that. Literally everyone. But everyone is also saying how legitimately scary it is. And that's probably
so
why I'm
scary.
blocking it out. Yeah. Because I feel like I'll need to watch it.
I can handle anything.
daylight.
Mike Flanagan. I watch Yellow Jackets. I get scared, but I'm scared. And I don't know what's going to happen or how or why or whatever, but it's so good. And it is funny.
I know. That's how everyone's hooking me. And then
I know.
every time I'm hooked, I'm reminded that everyone whose TV taste I trust tells me with like a very serious look on their face, like, it's really scary.
It's really
and then
scary.
I'm like, I need to watch this at like 9:30 in the morning.
Honestly, broad daylight, yes, with plans after.
Yeah,
and
it
then,
can't be
yes.
first thing because then I'll be too scared to start my day. But it also can't be any time after like 10 a.m. because then I don't know. I don't know how I'll process it. Anyways, someday I'll get to it.
Totally. And what was your antidepressant, friend?
My antidepressant is just I had like a real all roads lead to Bravo week. That network is it's such a tool of connection, for all of its fault. It really does bring people together. So the friend that I had dinner with, our birthdays are about a month apart. So we pick a time once both birthdays have passed to have a dinner. And we had dinner for like 4 hours. We've known each other since kindergarten. We shared everything. We laughed, we cried. It was just so wonderful to be with someone who's we've known each other forever through literally every phase of our life. And it was just really healing and wonderful. And then, of course, we started talking about all things Bravo. And then I get this piece of information that her sister works with Kyle's sister and who's been reporting that Amanda's been a nightmare all along. And then I taught a workshop earlier this week, and a former student of mine from a long time ago at the Groundlings was in this workshop, and she approached me and gave me this adorable little pen that is just my aesthetic. It makes me so happy, and it has a real smooth ballpoint too. I love it. And she came up and she was like, "Oh, and I love A Therapeutic Dose." And I was like, "You
Oh,
what?" And then we started talking about Summer House, and it was a writing workshop, and Summer House wound up factoring into some of her like writing pitches that I had them all do. And anyways, it was just delightful. And so now every time I look at this pen, I think about this lovely former student, and I think about how Bravo was part of reconnecting us. And I don't know, it's just a lovely common language that so many people speak in so many unexpected areas of my life. My friend from kindergarten, a student I taught a million years ago, another relatively new friend of mine who, whatever, doesn't watch Summer House, but we text about other Bravo things. It's just a great, I don't know, it's a good thing that's happened. Bravo.
it is such a good thing. One of my best friends got pulled in to Summer House, didn't watch Bravo before. I was on a Palm Springs trip with three of my dearest friends, and I played them the scene from The Real Houses of New York where Luann says, "Not really," because I'm like, no, you have to see the origin of it. Like when I say "not really," like that, like this is where it comes from. Like this is cinema, Anyway, so one of my best friends who never watched Bravo, like she got into it, and so when she and I can text about it together in the middle of the day, like she'll never know how much my heart, like it just bursts and splatters everywhere. Like it makes me so happy. And yes, Bravo can be very healing. Oh my God.
And what was
Um,
your antidepressant?
I got to have an all day. I got to spend all day on Saturday with my husband. Leo had a babysitter, and it was just lovely day for Josh and I to connect and be together and just focus on the two of us. And it is just it was just a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Spending time with him, talking, just being, And yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. Long overdue. Long overdue.
That's really lovely, especially, you guys are deep into this relationship now. You've
Mm-hmm.
been in each other's lives for a long time, for longer than Summer House.
Almost, yeah. We got engaged almost 15 years ago. So we've been together for 15 years. I've shared, but we got engaged 3 months minus one day after our first date. And so, yeah, June 11th, he asked me to marry him 15 years ago. And we've been married for almost 12 years. Yeah, it'll be 12 years in October. I am still learning things from him and learning things about him. And I am obsessed with my husband. So I'm so grateful for those times when we get to spend a whole day together,
I love
by
that.
ourselves. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Mm-hmm. And then we went to dinner at a friend's house, and then I got to hang out with my friend Lee yesterday in the city, and that was really lovely. And so it's been a week of simple, just like spending time with my favorite people has felt very antidepressant. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes. Oh, okay, friends.
One down, two to go.
One down, two to go. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate up, dude. Write in them journals. Get that
Rest
sleep.
up.
You
Yeah.
know, just take care of yourself in whatever way feels good.
Yeah.
To not land yourself making choices like Amanda and West.
Oh my God.
I want better for all of us. Anyway.
Everybody take care of yourselves, and we will talk next week.
Can't wait. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.